Learn English and speak with confidence.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our English Conversation podcast.
Hi, Emily. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation because staying calm is something I've been trying to improve for years.
Hi, James. I think it's one of the most valuable life skills anyone can develop. Whether you're taking an English exam, giving a presentation, attending a job interview, or facing an unexpected problem, your ability to remain calm often determines the quality of your decisions.
Exactly. I've noticed that when people panic, they often make mistakes they normally wouldn't make.
That's very true. When we're under intense stress, our attention becomes narrower. We may react quickly without thinking carefully. But when we stay calm, we're much more likely to notice important details and make thoughtful decisions.
So staying calm isn't about pretending that nothing is wrong.
Not at all. Calm people recognize that a problem exists. The difference is that they don't allow fear to control their actions. They acknowledge the situation, take a deep breath, and begin looking for solutions instead of becoming overwhelmed.
I like that distinction. Calmness doesn't mean the absence of pressure. It means responding wisely despite the pressure.
Exactly. Everyone experiences stress. Even experienced doctors, pilots, athletes, firefighters, and business leaders feel pressure. The goal isn't to eliminate stress completely. The goal is to manage it effectively.
Many people believe smart people never panic.
Actually, smart people experience the same emotions as everyone else. They feel nervous before important events. They feel disappointed after failures. They feel uncertain when facing difficult decisions. The difference is that they've learned not to let those emotions make decisions for them.
So emotional control is more important than emotional suppression.
Exactly. Healthy emotional control means recognizing your emotions without becoming controlled by them.
Let's imagine someone is about to give an important presentation in English. Their heart is beating quickly, their hands are shaking, their mind suddenly goes blank. What usually happens?
Many people immediately think, I'm going to fail. Everyone will laugh at me. I'm not good enough. Those negative thoughts increase anxiety even more.
So sometimes our thoughts create more stress than the situation itself.
Exactly. Our interpretation of an event often influences our emotional reaction more than the event itself.
That explains why two people can experience the same situation but react completely differently.
Absolutely. One person sees a challenge. Another person sees a disaster. The situation is identical. The mindset is different.
That's fascinating. It means changing the way we think can change the way we feel.
Exactly. Instead of saying, this is impossible, calm people often ask, what is the next small step? That simple question immediately shifts the brain from panic toward problem solving.
I've noticed that successful leaders often speak slowly during emergencies.
Yes, because calmness spreads. When a leader remains calm, everyone around them feels more confident, but panic spreads just as quickly. That's why emotional control is such an important leadership skill.
Another thing I've noticed is that calm people don't waste energy complaining.
Exactly. They ask themselves, what can I control? Instead of worrying about things outside their control, they focus on actions they can take immediately.
That's a powerful habit. Many people spend hours worrying about problems they can't change.
And worrying rarely solves anything. Action usually does. Even one small step forward creates momentum.
Let's talk about mistakes. Why do calm people seem to recover from mistakes more quickly?
Because they don't see mistakes as proof that they're failures. They see mistakes as information. Every mistake teaches them something useful. Instead of asking, why am I so bad? They ask, what can I learn from this?
That's such a healthier way to think. It turns failure into feedback.
Exactly. That's one reason resilient people continue growing while others give up.
I think many English learners need to hear that. Some students stop speaking English because they're afraid of making mistakes.
Yes, but mistakes are part of learning every language. Every conversation, every pronunciation error, and every correction helps your brain improve. Confident speakers aren't people who never make mistakes. They're people who aren't afraid to learn from them.
That completely changes the way I think about confidence. Maybe confidence isn't knowing you'll never fail. Maybe confidence is knowing you can handle failure if it happens.
I couldn't agree more. Real confidence comes from trusting yourself to adapt, learn, and continue moving forward.
I realized that staying calm isn't something that happens by accident. It seems to come from daily habits rather than natural talent.
That's exactly right, James. Calm people usually prepare themselves before stressful situations happen. They build habits that strengthen their minds, improve their focus, and help them recover quickly when problems appear.
So staying calm actually begins long before the stressful moment arrives.
Exactly. Think of an athlete preparing for an important competition. They don't wait until the day of the event to start training. They prepare consistently for weeks, months, or even years.
That makes a lot of sense. preparation creates confidence.
Absolutely. When you've practiced something many times, your brain becomes more familiar with the situation. Familiarity reduces uncertainty, and uncertainty is often one of the biggest causes of anxiety.
Let's imagine someone has an important job interview tomorrow. What would a calm person do?
A calm person would prepare instead of worrying. They would research the company, practice answering common interview questions, choose their clothes the night before, and arrive early. Preparation gives them a sense of control.
So instead of spending hours imagining everything that could go wrong, they spend that time getting ready.
Exactly. Preparation turns fear into confidence because action replaces uncertainty.
Another thing I've noticed is that calm people don't rush every decision.
That's a very important habit. When people panic, they often feel they must respond immediately. But in many situations, taking a brief pause allows the mind to become clearer.
Even a few seconds can make a difference.
Absolutely. A short pause gives you time to organize your thoughts instead of reacting emotionally. Many successful leaders are known for listening carefully before speaking.
I admire people who stay quiet for a moment before answering difficult questions.
That's because thoughtful responses are often more valuable than quick responses. Speaking slowly and clearly also helps other people remain calm.
Let's talk about breathing. People often say, take a deep breath. Does that really help?
For many people, yes. Slow, controlled breathing can help reduce the physical feeling of stress and make it easier to think clearly. It's a simple technique, but many professionals use it before presentations, competitions, and important meetings.
So something as simple as breathing slowly can improve your thinking.
Exactly. When your body begins to relax, your mind often follows.
I've also noticed that calm people don't try to solve 10 problems at once.
That's another excellent observation. Smart people often break large problems into smaller steps. Instead of thinking, this is impossible, they ask, what's the first thing I should do?
Breaking a big challenge into smaller pieces makes it feel much more manageable.
Exactly. Small progress creates momentum. One completed task often gives you the confidence to continue.
Another habit I've seen is that calm people accept things they cannot control.
That's one of the biggest differences. They understand that worrying about the weather, traffic, or other people's opinions doesn't improve the situation. Instead, they focus their energy on the things they can actually influence.
That sounds simple, but it's not always easy.
You're right, it takes practice. But every time you shift your attention from what you can't control to what you can control, you become mentally stronger.
I think comparison is another source of stress.
Absolutely. Many people constantly compare themselves to others, especially on social media. They see someone else's success and forget that they're only seeing a small part of that person's life.
So calm people focus on their own progress instead of competing with everyone else.
Exactly. They measure success by asking, am I improving compared to yesterday, rather than, am I better than someone else?
That's a much healthier way to think.
It is. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, not a race against other people.
Let's discuss sleep because many people ignore it.
Sleep is incredibly important. When we're well rested, it's generally easier to concentrate, manage emotions, and solve problems. Poor sleep often makes stressful situations feel even more overwhelming.
So taking care of your body also helps take care of your mind.
Absolutely. Healthy eating, regular exercise, enough sleep, and taking breaks all support clearer thinking during stressful moments.
I've learned that calmness isn't only a mental skill, it's also connected to physical health.
Very much so. The mind and body work together. Building healthy daily habits makes it easier to stay calm when challenges appear.
What's one habit you think everyone should start practicing?
I'd recommend pausing before reacting. Whether you're receiving criticism, facing a problem, or feeling stressed, take a moment to breathe and think. That short pause can completely change the quality of your response.
I love that advice. Sometimes the strongest response isn't the fastest one.
Exactly. Calm people understand that thoughtful action is almost always more effective than emotional reaction.
One thing I've noticed is that some people become stronger after difficult experiences, while others lose confidence completely. Why do you think that happens?
That's a great question, James. I think the biggest difference is perspective. Resilient people don't see challenges as the end of the story. They see them as part of the learning process. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can this situation teach me?
That simple change in thinking seems very powerful.
It really is. When you focus on learning instead of complaining, your mind immediately begins searching for solutions.
I've heard many successful entrepreneurs say that some of their biggest failures eventually became their greatest teachers.
Exactly. Every successful person has experienced disappointment. Athletes lose competitions, writers receive rejection letters, business owners make costly mistakes, students fail exams. The difference is that resilient people don't allow one failure to define their future.
So failure becomes information instead of identity.
That's a wonderful way to describe it. A mistake simply tells you what didn't work. It doesn't tell you who you are.
I think many English learners need to hear that message. Sometimes people make one pronunciation mistake and immediately think, I'm terrible at English.
Exactly. But learning any language involves making hundreds or even thousands of mistakes. Every correction is helping your brain improve. Without mistakes, there would be very little learning.
Let's imagine two students. Both give presentations in English. Both forget several words. One student becomes embarrassed and decides never to speak English again. The other student writes down the words they forgot and practices them for the next presentation. After a year, their progress will probably be very different.
Absolutely. The second student used the mistake as feedback. That's exactly how improvement happens.
Another thing I've noticed is that calm people don't waste energy blaming others.
That's true. Blaming may feel satisfying for a moment, but it rarely solves problems. Responsible people ask, what can I do differently next time? That question creates growth.
So taking responsibility gives us power.
Exactly. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's where real strength comes from.
Let's talk about unexpected problems. Life is full of surprises. Plans change, people disappoint us. Things don't always go the way we hoped.
That's part of being human. The most adaptable people understand that uncertainty is normal. Instead of expecting life to be perfect, they prepare themselves to adjust when necessary.
Flexibility seems to be another important quality.
Very much so. Imagine driving to an important meeting. Suddenly, the road is closed. Would you sit in your car complaining for hours? Probably not. You would simply find another route. Life often works the same way. When one path closes, another path usually exists.
I love that example. Instead of focusing on the obstacle, focus on the alternative.
Exactly. Calm minds look for possibilities. Panicked minds see only problems.
I've also noticed that resilient people usually have patience.
Yes, they understand that meaningful success takes time. Whether you're learning English, starting a business, improving your health, or building confidence, progress is usually gradual.
I think social media sometimes makes people impatient.
Absolutely. People often compare their first chapter with someone else's 10th chapter. They see success without seeing the years of practice behind it.
That's why comparison often creates unnecessary pressure.
Exactly. The only comparison that truly matters is whether you're becoming a better version of yourself.
Let's talk about confidence. Many people believe confidence comes before success.
In many cases, it's the opposite. Confidence grows after repeated action. Every time you solve a difficult problem, recover from disappointment, or overcome fear, you prove to yourself that you're capable.
So confidence is earned through experience.
It's built one challenge at a time.
What role does gratitude play during stressful situations?
Gratitude helps us notice what is still going well instead of focusing only on what's wrong. It doesn't ignore problems. It simply reminds us that even during difficult times, there are usually reasons to remain hopeful.
That's a healthy balance. You're realistic about the challenges, but still able to appreciate the good things in life.
Exactly. That balanced perspective helps people recover more quickly from setbacks.
Before we finish today's episode, what's one message you'd like every listener to remember?
I tell them this: pressure doesn't reveal your future. It reveals your habits. If you build healthy habits, practice emotional control, and continue learning from every challenge, you'll become stronger every year.
I love that. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow instead of a reason to quit.
Absolutely. Every difficult moment is another opportunity to become calmer, wiser, and stronger.
That's an important distinction. Many people want quick solutions, but lasting emotional strength seems to come from long-term habits.
Exactly. Just like physical fitness, emotional fitness develops through regular practice. You don't become strong by exercising once. You become strong by showing up consistently. The same is true for your mind.
Let's imagine someone wants to become calmer. Where should they begin?
I'd suggest starting with self-awareness. Before you can change your reactions, you need to notice them. Ask yourself simple questions. What usually causes me stress? How do I normally react? What kind of person do I want to become during difficult situations? Those questions create awareness, and awareness is the first step towards change.
That reminds me of something we've discussed before. You can't improve what you don't understand.
Exactly. Once you understand your patterns, you can begin replacing unhealthy reactions with healthier ones.
Another thing I've learned is that perspective changes everything. Two people can experience exactly the same event, but react completely differently.
That's because they give different meanings to the situation. One person sees a setback as proof of failure. Another person sees it as temporary feedback. One person focuses on the obstacle. The other focuses on the opportunity.
So changing your perspective doesn't change reality. It changes how you respond to reality.
Exactly. And your response often determines your future much more than the situation itself.
Let's talk about patience. Why is patience so important during stressful times?
Because most meaningful problems require time to solve. When people expect instant results, they become frustrated very quickly. Calm people understand that progress often happens gradually. They focus on making today's best decision instead of worrying about everything at once.
That reminds me of learning English. Some students become discouraged after only a few weeks because they aren't fluent yet.
Exactly. But every new word they learn, every conversation they practice, and every mistake they correct is building a stronger foundation. Growth is often invisible before it becomes obvious.
That's a powerful idea. Small improvements eventually create big changes.
Absolutely. Life is often shaped by small daily choices rather than dramatic moments.
Let's discuss communication. I've noticed that calm people usually communicate differently during stressful situations.
They do. Instead of raising their voices, they listen carefully. Instead of interrupting, they allow others to finish speaking. Instead of trying to win every argument, they try to understand the other person's perspective.
That probably prevents many unnecessary conflicts.
It certainly does. Many disagreements become much smaller when people remain respectful and thoughtful.
Another thing I've noticed is that emotionally strong people accept uncertainty.
Yes, life will always contain uncertainty. We can't predict every challenge, every opportunity, or every surprise. Instead of fearing uncertainty, calm people learn to adapt. They trust their ability to respond wisely even when they don't know exactly what will happen.
That sounds like real confidence.
It is. Real confidence isn't believing that nothing will ever go wrong. It's believing that you'll handle whatever comes next.
That's one of the most encouraging ideas we've discussed.
I think so too, because it means confidence isn't based on perfect circumstances. It's based on trust in your ability to learn, adapt, and continue growing.
Before we finish this series, I'd like each of us to share one final message.
I'd like every listener to remember this. A calm mind is built through daily choices. Choose patience instead of panic. Choose learning instead of blaming. Choose understanding instead of reacting. Choose hope instead of fear. Those choices may seem small today, but they become your character tomorrow.
That's wonderful advice. My final message is this. Don't wait for life to become easier before you decide to become stronger. Every challenge you're facing today is helping you develop the wisdom you'll need tomorrow. Trust the process, keep learning, keep growing, and never stop believing that you can improve.
We've learned that staying calm isn't about hiding emotions or pretending that problems don't exist. It's about understanding your emotions, thinking clearly, making thoughtful decisions, and responding with courage instead of panic.
Exactly. Pressure is something every person experiences, but pressure doesn't have to control your life. When you build healthy habits, strengthen your mindset, and practice emotional awareness, you become capable of handling challenges with confidence and wisdom.
And perhaps the most important lesson is this. You don't become emotionally strong overnight. You become stronger every time you choose a wise response instead of an emotional reaction.
Thank you for joining us. Why smart people stay calm under pressure. Throughout this journey, James and Emily explored the science of staying calm, practical daily habits, resilience after failure, and the mindset that helps emotionally intelligent people thrive during difficult moments. Remember these 4 powerful ideas. Calmness is a skill that anyone can develop. Preparation reduces fear and builds confidence. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn. Long-term emotional strength comes from consistent daily habits. No matter what challenges you're facing today, remember this. You may not control every situation, but you can always choose how you respond. And sometimes that choice changes everything. Thank you for listening. Keep learning, keep growing. Stay calm, stay kind, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next English Conversation podcast. Goodbye, everyone.